5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's the Romello Marcellus Show. The fly uncle you always wish you had. Bring them out. Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life.
Had to find my inner power.
To fashion, etiquette, and current events. Major show alert. All to enhance the happiness already inside you.
Today is about the power of you.
Check it out.
You're now rocking with the best.
Here I am, goddammit. Welcome to the Romello Marcellus Show. I'm he and he is me. You know the rest, man. Here I am. Here I am. I hope y'all had a wonderful day, man. Welcome to another edition of this show. It ain't your daddy's show. You're talking to your fly-ass uncle, who's always going to give you some sort of game. It may not be the game you need, but you're going to get something out of this. You know what I mean? It's always an opinion. And it's just what it is, man. Who I am. If you like the show, man, we starting off, man. Look. Follow me on YouTube, hit like, smash the bell, and leave it in the comments. You got any ideas, any thoughts for the show? Leave it there, man. Let's talk about it. Also, man, follow me on Instagram. Double tap me. Let me know you came through. All right? And same on Facebook, man. If you can't get me, man, follow me. You know, share it. Let's talk about it. All the topics, man, that we talk about are here to mentally enlighten or turn a light on inside you, man, to give you some understanding, man, about how to better your life, you know what I mean, or better those around you. Yeah, that's basically it, man. I'm here to put a little paint where it ain't and move forward, man, and you know, bless the situation. Look, man, I was excited about Black Panther, the original Black Panther, right? And this one's coming out on my birthday, and I thought about it. I was like, oh, yeah, Wakanda forever, and, you know, so on and so forth, man. And, you know, we were looking for who was actually going to be the replacement in the series. And it's like, wow, man, they've totally insulted the brand. Wow. It's like, damn, what do you do when you think about the only Black superhero that we actually have and can claim to be that in his own right, and only to have that tarnished or taken away from us? You know, I was watching the trailer, and there's not a Black man in sight anywhere holding down this the superhero. Not to say that he had to actually be T'Challa, but he could have been someone else, and a descendant or a son or something. But, you know, we got something other than a brother up there portraying to be this superhero. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to go and check it out. I'm going to pass. It's a shame that anything we do as Black men is always going to be overshadowed or viewed as some sort of threat, you know, to ourselves or civilization. You know, we can't be aware, enlightened, or woke, or strong in any way. You know, that's a threat to the establishment. So, you know, check it out, man. And yeah, Brian Coogler, you dropped the ball, homie. Yeah, you dropped the ball on this one. Or maybe it was corporate. I mean, maybe you didn't have a leg to stand on with it to get it done. But yeah, Holmes, need to do better with the replacement. Yeah, that's it, and that's all with that. But I guess I'll continue to watch the original and bask in that glory. Yeah, it seems this dude finally got what he wanted, man. Kim and Pete has called it quits, to my understanding, and I guess he's in bliss, marital bliss, because it's still his wife, technically. Whether they're together or not, that's a whole nother story. None of my business. But yeah, I'm just calling it out because of what it is, and, you know, all the shots that were fired, and, you know, a Black man kind of defending his position. Anyway, man, listen, I'm just talking about it. The dating thing between us, man, is a whole nother thing. which brings me to kind of what the topic is going to be about tonight and how we view each other. You know, we're talking about standards and demands. You know, in life, you can acquire things that are standard. Like prime example, you can buy a house, come standard with a bathroom, maybe 1 room, 2 rooms, 3 rooms, a standard. You know, whatever that model is. And then there's those demands, those added extras that you require, like open floor plan, an island in the house, a deck, a gazebo in the backyard, a pool in the yard, a 5-car garage, or, you know, you want cable TV, you want, you know, the host of things, heated floors. Those are demands that you're willing to pay for. Another thing is the same thing is applicable to relationships. I mean, everybody has standards. The standards things, well, I like an individual who looks good to me, who's attractive to me, and I'm attractive to them. They got all their arms and extremities, all their eyes. You know, as a man, you know, you got titties and behind, you know, or whatever your dimensions are, that thing that attracts you physically to them. And then here are the demands, you know, where we talk about the daily life things. My scope on it is this. When we talk about the life demands, the differences between men and women in this day and age, a lot of that falls on mindset, okay, and where you can actually place an individual coming into it. I was having a discussion earlier about men or males and their the way they carry themselves in their relationships, whether they're really there for the relationship itself or they're there to extract something. Okay, this was basically the scenario. Young men go about day to day and meeting young ladies, telling them whatever they want, you know, doing some of the things that they want in the beginning to get what they want from them, and then all of that ceases to exist. And my rebuttal was the individual was saying that men have to grow up. Well, when we say grow up, I mean, what's the standard of growing up when we say that? Because a lot of times depict being grown, legal age, being able to take care of yourself, being able to provide, you know, the mature aspect of things, that's a whole nother ball game. When we talk about people's actions or emotions or the way they move in life, a lot of times those are pre-existing conditions that are undiagnosed addictions. Okay. I was also saying that most young Black men, because that's all I can speak to, I can't relate to any others, that have had sex at a young age has done so to their detriment in a lot of ways, i.e. time management, emotional management, you know, and become natural masters of compartmenting the emotional piece of relationships, and the way we deal with our women, our females. But that added on to where we've been taught that we can't express ourselves as men emotionally is that other piece where we can't really have that direct conversation with you guys and say, hey, look, this is merely a physical attraction. I can't say anything more. And where it goes from here, sky's the limit. And I think that if the aspect of kingdom was bred into us, or excuse me, taught to us and became a regimen, we would carry ourselves more regal, having more value to ourselves, as opposed to wanting to extend it to this one and that one and so on and so forth, and creating these soul ties and these spiritual holes that we have on us. There was a interview that Lori Harvey just did, and she talked about the dating on her own terms, you know, the freedom of dating, you know, and, you know, talking about the green and red flags of of getting serious and recognizing those green and red flags when you are attempting to get serious with someone. You know, if you're too close to your exes, that's a red flag, she said. You know, she has her own reservations about dating. You know, this whole self-care and not willing to compromise your peace thing, you know, I understand that, but I don't care what you're doing. If you're with someone, you're going to have to compromise in some way, shape, or form who you are and the things that you're willing to offer, unless you want to be alone. You're not going to always be in a place and space that your peace is going to be yours because you're sharing that. The end game is to cleave and become one unit, one corporation, one house, one love, you know, whatever you want to call it. But this actually bleeds into this narrative that, you know, the I don't need a man thing or I'm so independent thing. And you have these expectations, which leads me to what I want to really get into. Fault finding. Fault finding is a real thing, man. It's a real thing. Before I go on to it, I mean, she actually took the position that she was a very horrible communicator. And I'll say this because it's prevalent that most of you who have been dealt some cards, we all are at some point in time, very, very bad with our communication because we don't want to go down the same road that we went through. But I'm going to speak from a man's position, right? And a lot of the reasons why some things are done or said that are unnecessary. But we have been taught to believe that it's so if we want to win in this realm where there is this hidden competition. Okay. When we talk about fault finding, right? Whether a man finds fault with others or whether he's on the receiving end of the fault, it destroys the spirit. I don't care how you look at it. It's always going to do something to him. Okay. And we've been taught not to feel. So when we compartmentalize those feelings and emotions, we spread ourselves thin. So we're willing to reach out to this one or that one so that we can spread the hurt out. You know, this is kind of that sort of that bullshit buffering thing, when in all actuality, we should dive head in first to those emotions, those feelings, and being able to express them and get them off of our chest or our back. But being that we're so addicted to the lifestyle of compartmentalizing and not expressing those feelings because they deem us soft and weak, we do the other thing. We do the opposite. And we're consistently coming up with a negative result. Fact finding is destructive to any relationship. You know, fault finding, is destructive to any relationship. I mean, if you're pointing the finger, I mean, usually if a man locks in with you, the only person that can hurt him with fault finding is the woman that he's with, and it cuts him deep. He may not express it, or he may act out on it. You know, the constant verbal, non-verbal criticism that sends a message, continuously sends a message, and it says that I don't accept you for who you are in life at this time. You know, you don't measure up, and I can't accept you until you do. But by that time, it's goddamn it, 9 times out of 10, it's too late. But when we look at the world that we live in now, and you know, not to press the ballot, but there was a lot of positivity in what Kevin was talking about. You know, fault finding. You talk about the things that this is really about: standards and demand. You got a man in front of you who has all his extremities, who has a heart, who has an understanding of how to treat you. But there's always these looming demands that, hey, you have to have some sort of income. whether it's a high six-figure or something to that effect, when in all actuality, in the world we live in, the average man across the board is not bringing home any more than $48,000 to $50,000 a year. That's facts. Doesn't change. Should own a home. Most men do not own homes at this point in this state and time in life. Sure, they may be in a position to do so, but when you look at it, they don't. You got a car? Sure, they have a car. Shit, the motherfucker might be hanging on by a thread, but they have one. The other prerequisite that the majority of these women, or excuse me, the females are asking in public is that there's no kids, no baby mama drama. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you got somebody who's between 25 and 40 and up, there's a kid there. You're asking for them to be heterosexual. Okay. In this day and age, shit, anything is possible. But to move right along, you want them to be patient with you and your exploration of them while you still have the option to explore your options. Going through the dating, the courting, the courtship, the meals, the travel, the concerts, the general hanging out, the day-to-day expenditures like gas, which is fucking ridiculous right now, and through this expectation of the dance, we're going through it, and there's no guarantee that this is going to go anywhere because you still hold the cards. You're based on the decision. We talk about the sexual pecking order or the sexual order of things, that we can only be with who we're allowed to be with unless we're out here taking it. And that's a whole nother story. But what I'm basically saying to you is that these prerequisites, these demands based on the standards, or excuse me, overlapping the standards, put most guys in a position that is very uncomfortable. If a woman's out here, and I can tell you right now, if she's a decent 6 or a 7, she can go out here and find a man with some money who can fiduciarily handle that responsibility, or to make her feel some kind of way, or that's willing to take her out on dates every night of the week. You can go on a free date every night of the week. You can travel. You can do all of that kind of shit. But when you have someone who's truly interested in you, and he knows that those are your demands, he's not willing to share those things with you. So you're going to have that mode of undiscussed boundaries, and it could very well be received to be sinister. Not say sinister, that's a poor choice of word, but not above board. And because, here's an example. You ever gone into a situation and you know that the bottom's going to fall out of it? You're just bracing forward. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and you're just hoping for a comfortable landing, or constantly finding ways to spitball the solutions to keep things afloat as long as you possibly can. This is what happens in most of our relationships nowadays. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just stating that these are some of the scenarios that do happen. Now, you do have some jokers out here who are just some no good rat bastards that are just out for themselves, that are not willing to have those honest conversations with you, okay? That are merely there to take advantage. But that goes on both sides, You have to be willing to recognize that who you're dealing with. Most of us won't even have a understanding of who we are until we at least 35 years old. Okay, who we are, what we want, what we really desire in life, and while we're doing that, we're doing the fault finding, which constantly puts us apart in our relationships. What people don't understand is that the verbal lashings and the fault findings, a lot of times it breeds resentment and contempt, and people will do things to compensate, like cheating, like lying, like being deceptive. because they're being abused in some way, shape, or form, whether it's being known or not by the individuals that they're with. No one wants to be in a relationship and feel like they're the only one in the relationship. If you're not willing to do the work and be in a relationship with the person that you're with, it's best to leave the relationship totally alone and save yourself some grief. But this is what happens to most of us as young men when we approach women. The expectations are too fucking high. The demands are too high for most of us at the stages and levels in life that we're in. So you have to take that into account. Ladies, if you have a man who's interested in you, it's not all about you. It's a duality. It's both of you all. Both of you all exist in the relationship. You have to consider what this man's psyche is. What's his mental capacity? Where's he at emotionally? Ask the question, man, are you all right? Are my demands too high for you to meet? Can you meet those demands? What kind of prospects do you have with your life? What kind of plans do you have for your life? Where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 5 years? Can I build with you? And get the notion out of your mind with this fairy tale shit that you're going to find a joker who has it all and he's just going to give it to you. That's not how it works. Come on, man. In your heart of hearts, you know damn well if you worked and you slaved and you sacrificed everything to obtain your status or your wealth or your prosperity in life or your position of security in life, you're not going to just give it away to somebody. They're going to have to bring something. They're going to have to add value to what you already have. So, God damn it, while you sitting here, lushing around and, wanting to date and feel good about a motherfucker, really ask yourself, what are you bringing to the table that is of value to that man? Because we have to be juggernauts out here. We have to take it in the face. We have to be willing to go out here and fight tooth and nail for it. Damn, at least we can get some consideration from you guys. Fault finding. But we do it as well. And a lot of times the fault finding is it has an identical twin. Just as sure as we receive it, we give it. And it's a shame, man, that we throw zingers. It's like a Scud missile, comes from nowhere and it's real personal about the things that we want to talk about or discuss. It's contagious. No one wants to be in a position that they're constantly being criticized about the things that they should be doing or should have. You feel me? No one wants to do that. And when we talk about it, we look at the criticism. It puts us in positions to be, for lack of word, invalidation. Invalidation is a tough place to be in a relationship. Okay. Sometimes we get along in relationships without sufficient validation, but that shit's not going to be sustained long. No one wants to be with someone that they don't feel valid with. They don't feel important with. They don't feel desired or considered or concerned. They're going to have those moments where you want to go and have an outlet to have someone tell you the things that you want to receive from the one that you're with. The question is, how do you really want your relationship to go? Do you want the attention that you demand? Do you want the affection that you demand? Do you want the security that you demand? Are you willing to give it? Everybody, here's a saying that everybody wants honesty, but no one's willing to be honest. And that's a crazy place to be in as well. When we talk about the whole position of fault finding, okay? They say if you got a finger pointing at you, you're pointing a finger, you got 4 fingers pointing back at yourself, which is the truth. I'm jumping around a little bit, but I'm kind of getting to the point, so just bear with me. Retrospectively, go back to the conversation that most guys or young guys are out here, or guys are out here, men out here should need to grow up because they're out here taking advantage of ladies. Okay. Here's where it goes. Who's going to hold them accountable? Who's going to hold them accountable? And it goes both ways. Who's going to hold females accountable that take advantage of people too? You know, it's just like talking to the addict or the person who wants to have this fit body. You can have all of the gym memberships and, you know, all of the motivation gurus in your ear. You can pay for all kinds of sessions, but until the individual really wants it, it's not going to happen anyway. So why talk about it? Okay. I'm talking about it because there are solutions, and I don't want to be one of those people who are constantly going to sit back and beat the drum and not talk about the solutions. Here's a solution. If you feel you're going to take advantage of someone, why not sit back and take advantage of yourself? Take advantage of the time that you have for yourself, the time that you can use to reestablish yourself or reinvent yourself. Because the things that we do, even to this day, a lot of it, the majority of it, it's from learned behavior. We had to see it. We had to witness it. We had to be a part of it in some way, shape, or form. Most of these guys that run around and do this, I'm not throwing shit. They saw it. They saw it when they were coming up, whether their daddy was a fucking womanizer or their mother was, I don't want to say promiscuous, but she had people that she was turning or whatever. To see that, and that engages that mindset that I can't trust. I can't just be with one regardless of what, you know what I mean? And I may love you, and leave my heart with you, but I'm going to go out and continue to do this, do what I've learned, or do what was taught to me through actions. You know, it's like, even when we talk about going forward in life, right? All right. Let's say you want to hold a man accountable, or a female accountable, for that matter, to their actions. In this day and age, you know, people are so caught up because they lack the self-accountability that they may say, okay, well, I want to level up in life. I want to be X, Y, Z, and so on and so forth, right? But with different levels come different devils. And when we talk about that, that's someone who's willing to challenge that in someone else. You got to be willing and ready to go the distance. And a lot of times you got to be ready to at least physically or mentally fight the individuals that you're trying to check, because they're not going to receive what you're saying 9 times out of 10. They'll hear you, but there it goes back to that thing where, okay, prime example. We as black folks, we go hard with where we were from. I'm from the hood. I'm from here. I'm from there. That dark place. When in all actuality, we should be professing where we're going and what we're doing to get there. Okay. It's never about where you came from. It's about where the fuck you are. All right. In the midst of discomfort, man, we have choices. I made a statement that most black folks now, we move around pretentious. We want to wear designer shit. We want to be in spaces and places that we haven't even prepared ourselves to go. This is where I was saying that when we talk about different cultures, there's a culture and nuances to go into different places, different restaurants. You eat differently in Capitol Grill than you would eat in Popeyes or Yum's Carryout or one of those spots. You feel me? There's a different decorum. And we'll go in places like that and we'll carry the shit like we in Popeyes and expect people to respect us. Now, our culture, we were taught to be dignified, to be regal, to carry ourselves in a way of dignified people. And this is not everybody, but I'm just giving this example because it's going to come. Just bear with me. The same thing is prevalent to where in our relationships with one another, we say we want one person. We want someone to love us. We want someone to care for us. We want someone to be respectful to us. But are we really ready to do that work? Are we really ready to be about that? And most of us aren't. And when called out, we got so many excuses. Got more excuses than motherfucker going to jail. Or why it can't happen because this or because that. And I got to get through this and I got to get through that. And yeah, this, that, and the other. You know, all these fucking excuses, when in all actuality, to me, those are junkie cops. You ever heard a junkie talking about, yeah, I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm going to go to the rehab tomorrow. I'm going to stop smoking this cigarette tomorrow. I'm going to stop drinking tomorrow. I'm going to stop whatever tomorrow. Well, I said, God damn it. What put off tomorrow, what you can do today? Yeah. But you got to be willing to, you know, if you're going to challenge a joker, you got to be willing to go toe to toe with him because they're going to take you there. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll say this, man, tonight we got to do better. You know, ignorance is not a badge of honor, man. Can't carry it, no way, shape, or form. Even when dealing with one another in our relations, you know, the position that we take with the fault finding. It's your fault. It's my fault. You the reason. No, goddamn it, you were fucked up before you got here. The question is, are you going to be honest with yourself, or are you going to continue to bash the individual that you're with? They weren't a part of your childhood abuse. They weren't a part of your teenage abuse. These are people that you are meeting and encountering. Now, regardless of whether you agree about how things should go with you guys, I mean, it may not work. Don't look at it as an embarrassment. Don't look at it as a thing of hurt. Look at it as an experience. And you have to have experience to tackle any task, any job, or to accomplish anything. There has to be some sort of experience. And thus far, a lot of our experiences have been fucked up. But when we look at things, how are we looking at it? Are we looking at it optimistically or pessimistically? As long as you have breath in your body, you can make a change, man, and you can be better. You can be better. If you want more, you have to get more. I'll say this, fellas, if you have one woman, you can accomplish the world. But if you got out here and you chasing this one, that, and the other one, man, let me tell you something. It's too expensive. It'll cost you too much time, too much money, too much everything. And yeah, you'll be sitting somewhere by yourself at the end of the day. And not a good feeling. Not that I've experienced it, but I'm sure that's not a good feeling. And yeah, you don't want that. So when we talk about standards, have your standards together. Apply your standards to yourself. If you can't meet those standards for yourself, then you shouldn't expect them for anyone else, or the demand, excuse me. Yeah. And that goes for you too, ladies. How can you sit back and have all these goddamn demands, and when it comes time for you to have demands, or excuse me, be demanded of, and I just read off to you a list, you can't even fill the back of a fucking stamp with the things that you bring to the table or the value that you have. You got to check that. It ain't all about you. It's not all about you. God damn it. It's two people. It takes two to make a thing go right. Yeah. Know where you are. Don't have that champagne taste and that beer life. Okay? Stay in your station, stay in your lane. You know, get somebody who's going to be there with you and grow with you. You know, stop looking for the ready-made thing, because you don't know what comes with that ready-made thing. The maintenance is too high on certain things that's ready-made. All right. That's just like buying a fucking 11-year-old Bentley shit or Maserati or some shit like that. It doesn't change the goddamn maintenance plan. It's still going to be 10 grand a year. Yeah. And you getting one without a fucking warranty. Yeah. None of us come with warranties. There's no guarantees. So it's always buyer beware. But just be mindful, man, about expressing your intents and your intentions. You know, the key to, I've learned over the years, the key to having prosperous relationships by watching others who have had those prosperous relationships and so on and so forth, is that the expectations and the demands have to be reasonable. They have to be reasonable. You know, if you both want to have something, you have those conversations where those wants kind of align. You know, keeping to mind that we're individuals, but God damn it. You have to align somewhere. Where you want to live? How do you want to live? Do you want, to invest in something that you can retire on? Do you want to be able to have a best friend and lover at the same time? How is your conversation? Can you talk about anything with one another without it being taken personal? We as people, we've been taught to have a lot of blanket statements, and it can affect the individual that you're with, and it can bleed over into that fault finding thing. These are the way we lay or should be laying foundations, and not to take the responsibility off of us as men and how we deal in our relationships. It's just that you have to ask the question, where did you come from? What were you doing prior to me? And the demands that you have to be, like I said, once again, reasonable. You should be willing to at least want to sit and have a serious conversation with an individual before you even break bread with them, before you even sit down and take a sip of water with the individual. Yeah. One of the most sacred things you can do is sit down and break bread with someone. That means you have a covenant. You're in league with them. That's like shedding blood. You broke up the body and you drank of the blood. Yeah. And, the expectations of individuals are in this world drawn by the packages that they are in. We as men, we're visual. Ladies, your expectations are visual, but you have a lot more expectations. And I know I posted this before, but I still want to go back to it. And I'm just talking about why a lot of times as Black males, we want to circumvent the system. We don't want to deal with the bullshit. Prime example, we're talking about shame, right? The internal shame you feel within yourself based on behavior, life choices, bad outcomes, the constant use of shaming language on us specifically. This proceeds to give you some sort of social dominance, the insults, the guilt, it's like the need to be right, the control thing, constantly when you're coming into it, you're laying these demands that you want to do this and you want to do that. And then you place this stigma on the male that you're dealing with out of the gate, that he already has this thing. So this is that side that he's looking at a lot of times out of 10 that's approaching you in this day and age, that this side exists, not the hope side, yeah. I'm just saying, man, I'm just putting a little paint where it ain't. Who am I though? I've never made any mistakes. I've never felt invalidated. I've never had faults found on me. I've never had someone have such critical views of me that in some way affected my thoughts of myself, incurred diminishment of my self-esteem. I've never had that. Folks that sit around and wordplay and camouflage the criticism that they have for you, yeah. I've never experienced those things. When we all should be practicing the power of positive reinforcement, in our relationships, entering into based on the demands and the standards, having the discussions about where an individual is with their life and where they're going, and seeking opportunities to build together, to have the ability to build together, to work together as a team, to have all the shit that you want to have. People look at power couples and they want to say, well, yeah, I want to be like them. But how do you get there? You look at most people when they go through issues in their relationships, there's always going to be one who's subtly trying to dominate the relationship. Okay, here you go. You have females that are insecure in the relationships. Males are insecure too, but you have females that are insecure. And you may have a brother who has potential or the propensity to do something great. But because of that insecurity, you will subtly sabotage the potential growth in that man. You know, you may say things like, well, shit, if you ain't gonna do X, Y, Z, the constant demand of his presence or his actions or his acts of service to you would become detrimental to his growth. I'll say this, as a businessman, to be successful in business, you have to be, okay, here we go. We talk about billionaires like Bezos and Elon and so on and so forth. These are not nice people. These motherfuckers are mean. They're shrewd. And they're willing to sacrifice the things that they have to maintain their success and their level of business. You know, they're willing to lose their wives. They're willing to abandon their families to make those things happen. You understand me? You got a motherfucker that's got a couple $1 billion and willing to leave fucking Earth, meaning I'm really leave all this shit to go up in space. You hear me? That's not a nice or considerate motherfucker. He's not considering your emotions or what you feeling. And this is what it takes to really be successful in business in this day and age, or any day and age. Any businessman, any motherfucker that's been really, really tried by fire will tell you he spent or she has spent a lot of time away from their family and their loved ones. So you got people that see those greatness. I say it all the time. People that are around you that don't mean you any good will see the blessing on you before you see it. And they will have you doing things like abandoning your business, you know? And it takes away the opportunity. It takes away the opportunities for you, you know, to constantly put you in a state of mind, which I said before goes back to the guilt, the shaming, you know, the contentious statements like, let me do that, you know, or this is the way that goes, or I'm good, you know, I got it, don't worry about it, you know. But then it reflects back to the initial demands that I was stating before, okay, that in a lot of relationships, people say, well, shit, but one won't do it. Somebody's always waiting to do it, you know. Now you got an individual who's concerned more about the loyalty of the individual that he's with or she's with. Yeah. So that subtle domination, that narcissistic shit, you know, motherfuckers out here really narking though. And when you flip the script though, you may say, okay, if a man's saying certain things to you, oh, he's controlling. Well, let me say something to you. I'm gonna put you to rest. A man should be in control of his home in this situation. That's what makes him a man in this day and age, and always should be. But see, the world's views putting us in a position where we don't believe that, or saying that, or believing that, or saying that out loud is wrong. It's sexist. I call bullshit. Insensitivity is another thing that you know, can be bad. You know, when we talk about relationships between men and women, and I'm going to tie it all together. All right. Sometimes a woman can discourage her man by her insensitivity. So let's say he steps to you, he's excited about something, and you show no interest. He wants you to do something with him, but you're too preoccupied with what it is you're doing, whatever that task is, or just laying around doing nothing, or, you know, whatever. He may ask you how his new shirt or his new tie look. You're uninvested in that. You know, the look on your face speaks volumes. If your husband or your man or your mate suggests you that, you know, y'all have your devotions together, you know, you respond with, All right, finally, some shit like that. Or damn, it's about time, or who asked you to do that, or who put that in your mind. You constantly take it from him. But it also is that subtle dominance thing, that control, that silence thing that put the voices in his head, there's potential, always potential competition based on the demands piece, especially if he knows that he hasn't met all of the demands. There's that thing. He could have the money. He may not have the house, but he has everything else. But see, then that house thing is still a thing over his head. Or he can have the money, he have a house, but he got kids. That's a whole nother thing. But he didn't have kids with you. You feel me? So there's always that, especially because those demands are not going to always align with what it is you desire. Silence is another thing that can draw those fault finding things, the you don't measure ups, the I'm just settling for, I'm looking at the front door, the the grunt, the whatevers, that silence is loud. That silence is deafening. Not that these are excuses as to why some guys do the shit that they do, but I'm just putting a little paint where it ain't. To have open discussions, to be more mindful about how we treat one another in a nutshell. We need attention, acceptance, appreciation, encouragement. We need support just like you, affection. And the one of the greatest things that a man can receive from his woman or a potential mate is the approval of them being who they are is enough. You all need security just like we do. We need security that we can come and confide in you, and the things that we confide in you don't become a weapon later, that zinger, and we need empathy, not apathy. Comfort. And most importantly, respect. You want respect? You got to give it. Respect the motherfucker's hustle. Respect the time that an individual takes out of their day to do one of the most dangerous things they could do is get in a car and come and see you. Put $20 in the car and come and see you. $40 in the car and come and see you. You know what I mean? And the fact that someone was willing to do it, regardless of what time of day it is. I'm just saying. I'm just putting a little paint where it ain't. Look, man, and all you're getting, get you some understanding, man. If you ain't got none, God dang it. Get on your knees, get on your face. Pray about it. Pray about it. We got to move better, man. There was a time when, we had things to look up to, like young men, To be a man, got to see a man. You got kids out here, man. Get your sons, man. Get your sons. Talk to them. Teach them to keep their thing in their pants until they find the right one. And ladies, stop saying that you haven't found one yet, because it's not your job to find one. He's supposed to find you. You looking when you're asking God to send you somebody, but you looking too. Doesn't work that way, man. Take your hands off of it. Focus on being the best you can be. Focus on being caring, compassionate, understanding, considerate, not selfish, not wounded and abused. Stop doing that. Not cool. Not cool at all. Understanding as a young black man, this is the world we live in. we have no true understanding about the things we should be doing. We want to perpetuate that we have made it and arrived to everybody, down to the designer shit, to the walking around and throwing and showing money, to showing pistols and guns and cars and all of that kind of shit. And in all actuality, we've broken its fucking side and really perpetuating and perpetrating a fraud. Yeah. And expecting us to come and be everything you need us to be, which is so not the case, man. Yeah. Yeah. Got to do better, man. Got to get better. You know, having these conversations or having these talks like this, man, and allowing us to express ourselves is more than enough. Yeah. So, man, look, I just came here, like I said, just to share a little bit. If you like the show, man, once again, man, look, follow me on YouTube, tap the like, hit the bell, subscribe, leave any thoughts you got, man. Leave it in the comments, man. Anything you want, you show idea, leave it in the comments. You got somebody that want to come on and potentially have a conversation with me. I'm looking for people to explore these topics with, man. You know, people just like you. You want to come on? You got something you want to say? Hey, I'll drop you the link. Yeah, come on and express yourself. I don't know it all. Yeah. Also follow me on Instagram, man. Look, double tap me. All right. Romello_Marcellus_show. All right. And the same on Facebook. Yeah. Man, before you hit the bed tonight, man, get on those knees, man. Put that face down and pray about it, man. Pray about it. Yeah. Pray about it. Ask God to guide you and order your steps in the ways that you need to go, man, so you could see the things that you need to see, you know? Yeah, just know that somebody is watching you, okay? Somebody is watching you and hopefully gaining something positive from you, all right? So, you know, as I said in the show, move forward. Lateral moves are no good, as I always say.
What do you see in the individual that you're with that you see in yourself? Sideways is cool if you're in your 20s. Well, damn, okay. I always thought it was either up or down. I mean, sideways is just nothing. That's lateral moves keep you where you are. I'm not understanding that. Are you fucking above your station, meaning are you a low value individual seeking a high value individual and you can't keep up because you're trying to come up and you fucking up and the individual knows that he's fucking down or she's fucking down, or vice versa? Same thing I said, man. Retrospectively, it starts with you. Last evening's conversation was very, very, very deep, and a lot of people, I'm sure you had good takeaways from it. Trust that people are going to be who they are, and you're going to be who you are.
Yeah, man. But with love, man. If you like the show, share it, man. Follow me. Click the like. Let your friends know. Oh, man, and listen, you know, I've been DJing in the park, man, and, you know, it's all love in the Love Park. If y'all ever in the DC or the DMV area, look me up, man, on Saturday and Sunday, man. We have a time down there. And on an average, man, I have between 200 and 400 people in that park, just dancing, eating, drinking, just having a good time, man. And yeah, that's that. But until tomorrow, man. Hey, 8:30, right here. You know how to find me. Until then, man, get you some peace, some love. And yeah, it's nothing wrong with protecting your soul. Good night. Love you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's the Romello Marcellus Show. The fly uncle you always wish you had.
Bring them out.
Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life.
Had to find my inner power.
To fashion, etiquette, and current events. Major show alert! All to enhance the happiness already inside you.
Today is about the power of you.
Check it out.
You're now rocking with the best.